Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to talk about the relationship between business and IS. I chose this topic for 3 reasons. 1, I'm a history buff. 2, any technical knowledge I had about really neat technical stuff left me 15 years ago. And 3, IT folks can only stand 5 minutes of history, all right? So, why do we want to do this? Because basically those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it again. The relationship between business and IT has been very dynamic over the last 50 years. It's changed a lot. You guys are going to do it again if you don't listen up here. Who am I to give this talk? In 1979, I got my EE from Virginia Tech. I've been with IBM 30 some odd years, so I have lived half this story. And finally, I'm a proud graduate at UNCW with my MBA 2 years ago this May. Okay. Business is changing. I've divided the history into 5 distinct areas. I don't know what they do. This is from the business perspective. I can do it better than they can do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do it on the web, and I want to do it in a cloud. Okay? So we're going to talk about this. It all started with this fine gentleman. He started IBM back in the early 1900s. Guess what? He thought there were going to be 5 computers in the world, right? Luckily, he was wrong. His son, Junior, went down the river from Endicott to Poughkeepsie, New York, and opened up the first mainframe shop. Kind of looked like that, right? I'll tell you right now, look at that picture. I got more processing power in my hand right here than in that picture, right? Okay, so this is the first computer. 1401 came out in 59. First commercial computer. There's lots of research stuff that happened before that. Before card readers, we went to this dumb screen here. You went into a big black box called the mainframe, and you got a printout. Behind that screen right there, it kind of looked like this in the data center. From a historical view, these are kind of the companies that started forming up around the mainframe environment. In the 60s, we brought the technology out into the office. We allowed young ladies like that to put big floppy disks in the drives here. Still didn't know what was going on. All right? We didn't know how this stuff worked. But these companies here came out and said, OK, we're going to start getting into business now. Then in the mid-'80s, what happens? The PC showed up. We gave you, the user, computing power, storage, memory on your desktop, right? Notice the storage got smaller here. So what happens when we did that, right? Some fine gentleman came along here. Anybody know who he is? Right? He introduced an operating system that worked on the desktop. And so he and some of his buddies and some other companies introduced a new computing paradigm called client-server. What this did is it allowed all the business units to get into the business of IT. These companies said, you don't need the mainframe anymore. We'll give you a server. You can put it in your department, right? So the mainframe was dead, right? Except we're still making them in Poughkeepsie, New York today, right? All right, so after the departments all got this stuff, right, what happened? They found out IT wasn't easy, right? Those guys didn't know about LANs. They didn't know about storage. They wanted to give it all back, right? Y2K came along and said, oh, my God, I can't cope with this, right? You guys got to take it all back into the shop. So we took it all back, right? So then in the late 90s, this web technology came along, right? So we wanted, it's easy. Now I can go out on the web and I can do stuff. It's intuitive, and we've kind of pushed all the technology back here. The other thing that happened is the business said, I'm not interested in IT technology. I'm interested in IT solutions. I don't care about feeds and speeds anymore. Give me something that helps me do my business better. The relationship became a little more logical. So now we started using IT everywhere in the business. Product design went from drafting tables to CAD programs. Assembly lines went from manual to roboticized. Accounting went from handwritten spreadsheets, all right? So now IT is almost everywhere prevalent within a business. You got to have it, right? So now we've got it back into the IT shop, and we're going to do it in a cloud, right? So one definition of a cloud is it's sold on demand, it's elastic, and it's fully managed by the provider. Starting to see a trend here? Okay, now if we go to a cloud technology, you can do a lot of things on a cloud. You can rent a Windows server, you can run a database on it, you can do a Microsoft Office, you can run applications, you can even do your whole business process in the cloud. Now there's another aspect of this thing. Our friends from Microsoft started an advertising campaign that says, let's go to the cloud. You can put everything in the cloud, your pictures, your movies, your TVs, everything's in the cloud today. It hasn't helped define it very well, right? Anybody know what a cloud is? No, you're not alone in the world, right? So I got to ask you today, has history repeated itself? I'm not sure. I'll leave it up to you. Thank you for your time.